Welcome back to Rise and Shine. On our program at this time, we're chatting with Miss Carolyn Correia. Carolyn is the author of the book, How to Find Yourself and Claim What's Yours. And viewers, this morning she's chatting with us. Good morning and welcome to you, Carolyn.
Thank you. Good morning.
It's nice to have you on our program. I understand you were here some time ago.
Yes, I was here in July.
Right, I think I was on vacation. Right.
Yes.
But you're back with us. Carolyn, what prompted you to write this book? I think it's an interesting name.
Yes, actually the book was long in making. It was started in 2009. So it was a 6-year journey, my professional journey. And a lot of it is talking about Tobago and how that opened up a whole new world for me when I worked in Tobago in 2013. So it's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah. What was the journey like for you? How would you describe the journey, maybe in a nutshell?
Okay, first, it started with me in Trinidad. I was working in a technical field and I felt stifled because I wasn't able to use all of my gifts and my creativity. And then I got a breakthrough. I was published in the Woman Express. So I wrote for them for 2 years, and then a Jamaican magazine. And then I got my breakthrough to come to Tobago and pursue communications. So I was able, these functions I hosted and the people I met produced such a wonderful, sharing, and the responses I got allowed me to develop my courage and confidence to actually pursue my dream. So I decided to become an entrepreneur and do motivational speaking and communications consultancy. So then I came back to Trinidad and then I talk about those experiences and stuff like that.
Now, there's another book, Thinking Out Loud.
Yes.
Is it that this was the first book?
This was the first book. This is a compilation of articles that was published in the Woman Express and the Jamaican magazine. And this happened quite by accident. And I self-published. One day I saw something on Facebook and a few clicks later I was published. Well, it took about 6 weeks. It took about 6 weeks. There's traditional publishing where you go through a publishing house and there's self-publishing.
Right.
I mean, both you can become best-selling authors. So I took the chance and do self-publishing.
I think they want to see both books here.
Yes.
So let's just
Then a little while again, I did an audiobook because I did a broadcasting course with Edison Carr a while ago in 2010, and I said, what better way to showcase my talents than to do an audiobook? Because I know a lot of people, they're always on the go, they don't get time to read. So they could just pop it in their car on the way to work. And
that works for a lot of persons as well.
So this is the audiobook.
Okay. All right.
Why it is important? Do you think it is important? I shouldn't ask you, do you think, because you actually have the book. Why it is important for one to think out loud? Do you think that people suppress, their emotions, suppress their feelings, and that may affect them negatively?
Yeah, they do. Well, one thing my friends always tell me, and they commend me for, well, I could be kind of abrupt. So
you're one of those who you'd say it like it is.
Yeah, they said, actually, when I launched my motivational workshop last year, when I returned from Tobago, I had a pilot session, and one of them, my friend for 20 years, she said in front of the entire group, some friendships you may think is superficial, but Carolyn, you see what you get. You always know where you stand with her. And not everybody might be able to appreciate that or understand where you're coming from. Because, I really mean no harm. So a lot of people, the name is derived, a coworker told me, it's a lot of things that people think about, but they seldom discuss.
Exactly.
Yes, but it's not, it's universal themes. So it's about finding your passion. The first article was actually turning 30. I was telling my friend here in July, I had a meltdown when I was turning 30 a few years ago. And I went home, I came up from Lyman, and I wrote this article. And I was like, wow, okay, did I write this, And my friends told me I should send it into the newspaper, and it was published. And that's how the book started.
Okay.
So it's about family, about relationships, about love, about celebrating the holidays. So a lot of people tell me they could relate But this one is much more personal. So it's a personal journey. And actually the launch was on Saturday at the Tobago Library.
How was it?
It went quite well. Yes, it was received well. There was a review and everything, and everybody walked away inspired.
Very good. Let me ask you here about the name in itself. Is there a spiritual basis for this book? Because how to find yourself and claim what's yours. Now the Bible talks about life and death being in the power of the tongue, and what we confess we possess.
Right.
So the claiming what is yours, if I believe I want to be better, to be blessed, I confess and I speak that over my life. I speak healing or deliverance, salvation over my life. Is there a spiritual basis for the
Yes,
book?
there is, but I try not to make it too religious, because I know everybody believes in so many different things. Some people don't believe in God. But I talk about my faith a lot, how I relied on my faith to carry me through to the next level, and it always worked for me. And that demonstration has produced this book.
Okay. Now, Carolyn, what is next for you? Because from thinking out loud to how to find yourself and claim what's yours to audiobook, what is next? Did you see all of this coming 20, 30 years ago?
Actually, actually the book started in 2009, the second one. And I had no idea that it would have reached, not that it has reached epic proportions as yet, but I really think it can. And I didn't even plan ahead to a Tobago launch or anything like this.
You didn't even think about it?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
For this book, it was very low-key. I had a small launch at a friend's house.
Right.
And I didn't plan to go all out there and do a public launch. But I really didn't plan. A lot of two of the secretaries were there and they designate. And that in itself was so heartwarming to hear what Dr. Sawyer and Angus had to say and what everybody had to say. And, I didn't even plan all of this, and it worked out beautifully. Everything fell into place at all the right times. And
beyond what you imagined.
That's what I talk about in the book.
Okay.
Were your thoughts process towards any age group and anybody special when you wrote these books, or
I would
is
say
it universal for everybody?
25 to about 55. I know a lot of people who are over a certain age would have found themselves already, but I recently...
Hopefully.
I recently delivered a presentation to the Rotary Club of Port of Spain, and there were people that told me that, that it's so apt for them. They wanted to get my book because, they don't think they've quite found themselves as yet. So, and then a lot of people tell me that. But it's not only about finding yourself, it's about learning from my journey, reflecting on your past, reflecting on your own journey, seeing how far you have come, and maybe changing something about yourself or healing something that needs to be healed. I'm not saying I'm a faith healer or anything, but...
But taking a deep look into oneself.
Yes, I really think that the book can do all of these things. And to hear Petronella Jack do the review on Saturday, it was so moving. It has done so much for her, and she endorses everything in the book, and it's just wonderful.
But what is next for you? Is there another book on the horizon?
Okay, yes.
Something you've been working on?
I started a third book. Actually, when I was planning the Trinidad launch, I started a book on grief. My dad recently passed away. That was one of the reasons I left Tobago, because he was sick at the time. So I started a book on grief in the hope that it could help others. So I plan to interview other people and get their perspectives, have some psychologist insights in the book. And also I started a book of poetry last year. I never thought I was creative enough to write poetry before. And then I started to write something last year. It turned in from one poem to about 10 poems. So I might do an ebook. I might go all out like this.
Oh, you're using technology. Go, girl.
And it's also available on Amazon. Both books are on Amazon, on Kindle and paperback. And please post a review, and because that helps with the rating. What else? Well, I want to really start my workshops. I haven't really gone all out to really get it out there as yet. So I want to start promoting that some more and really get into that, break through with some companies and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I say all the best to you. The issue here of grief, I've always felt that it's a part of life that I don't think we've come to terms with just yet. A lot of persons grieve. I don't know if it's healthy to grieve for very long periods, or if we should just have a time frame, grieve for 2 months and move on, grieve for 6 months. But I've always felt that a lot of persons need some help, need some intervention in terms of dealing with grief.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that I am not, I don't know if I'm mourning still. I was able to get over the death fairly quickly. I think if I did not move from Tobago when I did, I would have been in a really bad shape like right now. Because when I came home, I got that time to spend with him. So I think it's important that we accept that the person, I recently watched a documentary on CNN, To Heaven and Back. A lot of people who almost died and came back. And they crossed over to the other side. They saw all the dead people. They saw the angels. Some persons saw Jesus. And if you accept that that person, that was their time to die, they fulfill their purpose here on earth. Even if you die young, some people ask, why do people die young? They fulfill their purpose in that short space of time. Right. And it's really time to move on. So I think the first step is acceptance and closure, however you find it. My closure was being able to spend all this time with my dad and take him on outings and, tell him I love him. And really, he knew to the very end that I really loved him and I appreciated him. And, all of this, I'm remembering when he came to Tobago, and the book is dedicated to him. The epilogue is an extension of the eulogy I delivered at his funeral. I know these things are grim, but I feel...
I don't think it's grim.
I know a lot of people don't like to hear it, but it's the reality of life, and, I'm so thankful for everything.
Well, Carolyn, I'm really happy for you, and I say all the best to you. We're waiting to see what comes next. But where are the books being made available?
It's at Books and Office Supplies. Help me out with the mall. It's DHL.
It is
the mall office.
TLH.
Oh gosh.
I think it's TLH. TLH.
TLH.
They're just opposite the Esplanade?
Yes.
Yes. I think it's TLH. TLH?
TLH.
All right. Okay, so it's available at
Books and Office Supplies.
Books and Office Supplies. That's it. So thank you so much, Carolyn, for being with us this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, Tobago, we'll leave it there for today. We thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. And God willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.